Hello, Suns fans. This is Suns Latest. I am Rich Rubin. I know it's Monday and we've got a lot to unpack. Just promise me you won't freak out until 3 months from now. It's going to be okay. All right. As of this recording, 808 Suns subscribers to Suns Latest on Fan Arch. I really appreciate it. Mostly, I love your comments and the back and forth we have. And because we have so many more Suns subscribers now, remember, when you subscribe to Suns Latest, you're not a subscriber. You're a Suns subscriber, and that is unique. But we have so many more now. I can't get to every single comment, every single Suns Latest, and I always get backed up in the good way. But just know, I'm reading them all, and I, at the very minimum, will most likely respond to you on the YouTube page if I don't read them on Suns Latest. But I'm going to try to get to all of them, so I appreciate that. Let's see, quote of the day. I've been on successful teams pretty much my whole career, but even those 2 seasons I finished with Memphis and Minnesota, you learn just as much from adversity and losses as you do from success. That is from Jason Collins, twin brother of former Sun Jaren Collins. Good guy, long, nice career. As of last September, continuing treatment for brain cancer. So we need to take that quote to heart because there will be losing, apparently. There will be more losing than winning for at least the first half of the season. I am still very optimistic and believe the Suns are going to turn a lot of things around, but we have talked about this and talked about this and talked about this until we are blue in the face or purple and orange in the face. There will be a lot of growing pains, and we've already seen a few of them. But have no fear, because we're going to break it all down. Before we get to the games around the league, on Thursday, Trailblazer coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former NBA player and coach Damon Jones were indicted in a pair of federal investigations into illegal sports betting and rigged poker games. Rozier accused of taking himself out of games to cover the under on prop bets, sharing inside info on opponents. Jones accused of sharing inside info. Billups accused of the same and being involved in poker games set up by the mob to grift anybody and other NBA players out of money. Inside info, I know it sounds like, well, we know what's going to happen before the game. There's the injury and starter report right there. This is the stuff that even before the report gets made up, even before anybody is talking about injuries or who might be getting traded in the next few months, that's the stuff that the pro gamblers really want, because then they can set bets in motion. No one knows about this stuff legally until it's reported to the league. To get that info ahead of time is invaluable to bettors. It puts bets in motion, it puts perception in motion, and can sway a bet even before the actual facts of what's going on with the team or the player comes out. And that is what Billups is accused of, and that is a big deal. We have no idea at all if any of this is true or not, or if it is, how deep it goes with the accused and what's going to come down the pike with the rest of the league. If it's true, we have no idea how bad it's going to be. If they're in deep with the mob, that's really, really bad with the NBA, and I'm going to say this and move on to the games. This happened. It's been happening. But now it's out in the open because I don't know when, and I don't really care when, but some point along the way, Adam Silver called a press conference, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, and said, hey, we're going to work with DraftKings and the other ones. I don't pay attention. I don't bet. I'm really not good at it. I'll never understand spread and cover and over and under. I'm sort of understanding it. I'm not interested in it, and I'm not some angel, and I'm not trying to be all pious about this. I just want to watch the game. And it's really a shame that it's gotten this bad. But, the door has been left open, and obviously this happened. I don't know what's going to happen. I'd rather focus on the Suns right now, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so that is going to be the headline for most of the season, no matter what happens in the win-loss column, and that goes for every team. It's going to happen this season, so just try to focus on stuff like this. So Suns versus Clippers, second game of the season at Intuit Dome in L.A. this last Friday at 7:30. Dillon Brooks took 24 shots, scored 22 points in the season opener. All right, that's 5 more than Book, who had 31. I was hoping Coach Ott said something to him about that going into Friday's game against the Clippers, but Brooks took 17 shots, 10 of them threes, and finished with 21 points, but was a minus 15 on the court. Yes, he shot 50% from 3, but Book is a better shooter than Dillon Brooks, and he's a better scorer, and he's a better offensive mind than Dillon Brooks. Book took 10 shots and scored 18, but Book was a minus 22. So therein is the issue right there. Although I don't believe the hype about the Clippers being a top 5 team this year. They're a bad matchup for the Suns, mostly because of experience. That's good for the first half of the season. Once the Clippers start getting into the second half of the season and half of them are injured, or they're coming off of injury and they can't really get any continuity with their team. I'm not worried about the Clippers, and mark my words, that's going to happen with them. We got smoked, 129-102. Oso is not the solution at center. I'm thinking Nick Richards should get the start, or at least split the time evenly with Oso. Oso he's good. He's not, I don't think he's a center. I know how tall he is. I don't think he's a center. I think he's a power forward. I think he's like Boris Diaw. Richard should get the start, and Mark Williams, he played sparingly in Game 2, and he was out for the Nuggets in Game 3. He's got a right knee issue. We're going to get to that. Mark's been coming off the bench. He shot badly, didn't make an impact in Game 2. Everyone available got into the game. Jalen Green is still out. That's a good thing. Coach Ott has seen what he can do. In limited minutes, all the scrubs got in. Rasheer Fleming got in. Not a scrub, but the guys way down on the bench in the pecking order, they got in. We talked about growing pains. We talked about being patient. Here is our reality. James Harden can still fill it up. 8 for 12, 5 for 7, 9 for 9. Great offensive player. James Harden will never be a winner, and I don't care how many points he scores. Bradley Beal started for the Nuggets, went 2 for 4, and had 6 points. All right, so the Suns look better against the Nuggets on Saturday, even though they got clobbered 133-111. Remember, 2 games in a row, and I don't care how young you are, it's always hard. It's harder on the road. It's even harder against Denver in that altitude. I lived in Denver for 5 years. It takes about a year and a half to get used to living in altitude, so you can imagine coming off a tough loss and getting right into Denver and playing another game against a team like the Nuggets, who I think are going to make it real difficult for anybody to get past them in the West this year. I have a feeling Denver's going to be in the mix till the bitter end. Apparently, Coach Ott told Dillon Brooks to shoot more, and he went 6 for 18, shooting 13 threes, and he made 3 of them. He missed 10 threes. So that's an indication of he's not listening to the coach, or coach told him to, or he's just shooting threes because I don't know. That's too many threes. He should be taking no more than 6 a game, maybe no more than 5, unless he's wide open. 15 points, 3 rebounds for Brooks, who now needs to be told to freaking cool it on the threes. Booker shot 10 for 16, 2 for 5 from 3, 31 points, and better at offense than Dillon Brooks. So if this is the theme for the season, I would really like to I would really like it. I would really like it if Coach Ott would rein in Dillon Brooks and remind him of what we need him for most. Ryan Dunn, as I said before, steady and keeps improving. 4 for 8, 7 rebounds, 9 points. Pretty good defense on Aaron Gordon, one of the better power forwards in the league. 17 on 5 for 11 and 1 for 6 from 3. Aaron Gordon is an effective offensive player, and he had a beautiful 360 dunk. But Ryan Dunn is quietly becoming an elite defender. And he's totally being selective about his shots, and I guarantee you he is listening to Coach Ott. Mark Williams sat out. Not good news. Not much of an impact from the bench. We got out-rebounded. We got out-rebounded by the Clippers, too. We got out-rebounded by the Nuggets, a superior rebounding team, but only by 5. So as long as we're within 5 to 7 boards, even if we get out-rebounded, that's cool. I want to out-rebound everybody. I think we got the young wings and the young guns enough to do that. This is how it's going to be for the first half of the season. It's going to be like this. I understand Brooks feeling the need to shoot. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Coach Ott is going, hey, Dillon, you know what? Jalen Green's out. Mark Williams out. Those guys are above average offensive players. We need you to shoot more. I think if he's missed 6 threes, cool it on the threes and try to get to the basket more. He's tough enough to do that. And settling for a 3, even if we need the offense, that's just not going to cut it. Grayson Allen offensively has been shooting around 50% from all over. I think we should get him the ball more than Dillon Brooks, at least from 3. Don't hang your head. Don't hang your head. It's fine. I know this sounds very negative. They are playing hard. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So don't freak out right now. It is just the beginning of the season. They are playing hard. Soon they're going to combine playing hard with playing smart. We got this. It's okay. We played 2 teams that absolutely we do not match up well with. There's other teams that we're going to beat. Next game is tonight against Utah at 6 p.m. Do not freak out. All right, let's get to your comments. Curious Mind 2525. Hello. So remember me saying weeks ago the Suns should not trade Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal because they will be invaluable to this team. I absolutely remember. The Suns do not win the first game without those 2 combining for 30 and 10. 9 assists with Allen getting his 18 points in the second half. Truer words have never been spoken. You're absolutely right. We are going to need their veteran presence. In fact, unless the body's not telling them to, Royce O'Neal is technically a swing forward. And I like Ryan Dunn starting. In fact, Grayson Allen and Ryan Dunn have been the most effective offensive players, actually the most effective starters we have so far in these early 3 games. Booker's doing his thing. I would like for him to demand the ball more, but he's still doing his 25, 5, and 5 pretty much. So it's a decent starting lineup. We're going to need Jalen Green, and we're going to need Mark Williams at the top of their game if we want any more offensive firepower. But amazing point, sir. BYB Boxing. Hello, man. I hate to say Matt Barnes should be on the list. I know you're talking about Legend of the Day Hustler, a Hustler edition. He was a hustler. How long was he on the Suns? I always liked Matt Barnes. I always went back and forth. He was like the back in the day Dylan Brooks, right? He just seemed kind of, tattooed and tough guy and gritty and kind of a punk, kind of tried to punk players. But yeah, I don't know. Back to BYB Boxing. And I know everybody will talk about how he's left our team championships. He's left our team championships in other places, but he was definitely a gritty player. Okay, and Grant Hill too. When Grant Hill got to the Suns, he became a defensive stud. He was already good defense. He became a great defender. I'm amazed that he didn't make an all-defensive team when he was with the Suns near the end of his career. Let me sleep on the whole Matt Barnes thing. I liked him. I don't know if he's going to count as a Sun. He played for so many freaking teams. Maybe it's just an impact thing. Like I always felt like Stephen Hunter and Bo Outlaw had a good impact, even though they were only here for a second. So maybe Matt Barnes falls into that category. I love Matt Barnes, but Kobe brought him back to earth. Same with Meta. You notice those two guys really hated Kobe until they were on his team. Sulfinton, I hope I'm saying your name right. Rich, thanks for doing this list. Thank Novetsev. He's the one who came up with the list. These kind of guys were always my favorite Suns. How about Raja Bell? Definitely. Arguably the grittiest Sun of all time. For sure, Raja Bell. Nico and Ciso. Hope I got your name right. Bro, that game one was so much fun. Such a gritty win. Go Suns. Game one against the Kings was a pretty good game and an indication of if we're doing it right, we can win a few games and surprise a few people. KJ Milton, if Mark Williams can get healthy enough to play 25 to 30 minutes, this can be a playoff team. He pops off the screen. There is no denying Mark Williams' ability, his talent, and his athleticism. But you said a mouthful, 25 to 30 a game. Jason Cox, hi man. I'm not lying when I say I wasn't on the KD train. I have a better feeling about this version of the Suns than the past 2 years. I like this team way better than the last 2 years. I really do. I'm right there with you. Anonymous Rex, I was never on it either. Agreeing with Jason Cox. All you have to do is look at his record since leaving Golden State. He doesn't lead and doesn't win in the playoffs. Okay. I guess it's never going to die because you know what? When you get a legendary Hall of Famer on your team, there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of opinion about it. I get it. We had a lot of time to analyze the KD effect on the Suns, but we did not have to give up that much for him. But we did. And we knew what we were getting in KD, and our new owner wanted to make a statement. We've been through this. It's still a team sport. KD almost by himself got the Nets to the finals. Kyrie and Harden were injured all the time. They played a total of 16 games together. No one can win when your three best players can't stay on the floor. Steve Nash may have not been the right coach, but Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich would not have been able to get that team a title. No way. Absolutely not. I don't care who the coach was. KD did check out, forced us to keep him last year when the Warriors were ready to give us Kuminga and more, and that's on him and Ishbia. Looking back, hindsight is 2020. If KD had said, I don't want to go, I think he had a no-trade clause. No, wait, Beal had a no-trade clause. Somebody remind me, did KD have a no-trade clause? I don't think he did. I think if that was the case, the Suns should have said, screw you. We know what you're about. You're going back to the Warriors. We're taking Kuminga, who, by the way, Kuminga, looking pretty freaking good, working with Steph. He's also trying to get a better contract. So there's that push and pull with Kuminga. It's not a comparison. It's all been done. I liked having him on the Suns, but we'll always be pissed that we don't have Bridges or Cam anymore. They were young. They were the young core, and they were good together. And Cam Johnson is starting for the Nuggets and had a good game against us. That will be way more heartbreaking than anything KD ever did or didn't do for us. So let's put it all behind us, okay? It's going to happen. These are the things we talked about this all summer. The Suns are going to get beat pretty bad in a few games, especially by veteran teams. We're also going to beat some of these teams that are looking past us. So just be cool with it. Actually, the bigger test is tonight against a team like Utah, who beat the Clippers in their home opener. Okay, long, lanky, young team. They don't really have much to play for. They don't have great players except for Markkanen. They got one other guy who might be a gamer. So we'll see. There is no TV tonight for the Utah game unless you got League Pass. All right, so Legends of the Day Hustlers Edition. Always get credit to Nevetsov's Sunscriber, who said, hey, how about a gritty Hustler edition? And so this is what we're doing. So here we go. One of you suggested, out of Old Dominion, a center at 6'10", 230 pounds, selected by the Mavericks with the 30th overall pick in the second round of the 1983 draft. Who am I talking about? I am talking about Mark West. Played for the Suns from 88 to 94, and again in 99, Suns assistant from 2013 to 15, played for Dallas, Cleveland, and the Bucks. From 83 to 88, then played from 94 for Detroit. Played in Detroit for 94, another stint with Cleveland, back to the Pacers. Then the Pacers and the Hawks, back to the Suns. He retired with us 99-2000. 17 NBA seasons, key starting center, key player for us in the 93 finals with the Barkley, KJ, and Marley Suns. He was there before, making life easy for the KJ and Tom Chambers show. So Mark West came over with KJ and 1988 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, defensive standout Ty Corbin, and then one of those picks turned into Dan Marley. Here's some juicy info from one of the few guys who played with KJ when KJ was backing up All-Star Mark Price. Mark Price, by the way, from Arizona. Mark Price's dad was an assistant coach for the Suns in '74, and my brother Joey Rubin, who I've mentioned once before on the show. My brother played against Mark Price in youth league at the JCC where the Suns practice, and I played against his younger brother, Matt Price. Their father was a Phoenix Suns assistant coach. So Mark Price was an all-star guard for the Cavs. He's still underrated. He was a phenomenal player. But according to Mark West, quote, KJ was exceptionally competitive on the Cavs. It got so bad that Cavs coaches were afraid he'd hurt Mark Price. Price had to sit out, not because he was tired or for playing a lot of minutes, but because KJ would hurt him in practice. Not maliciously, but he was so competitive, and he knocked the crap out of Price every day in practice. KJ was pissed. He knew how good he was, and he wasn't playing. That's why he went after Mark Price, end quote, and that's what got him traded. So that's something I had never heard before. That's something I 100% believe. So the Suns get KJ and Mark West for our best player. No one had any idea about either of them, but KJ exploded and became KJ one of the greatest point guards of all time, arguably the most underrated point guard of all time. Mark West quietly became one of the most dependable starting centers in the league. Never flashy. Hell of a dunker, though. Always leading in field goal percentage and block shots. Not an offensive powerhouse, but we didn't need that from him. We needed him to hold other big men down, and he did that as good as anyone in the league. KJ, Marley, Hornacek, then Barkley and Ainge filled it up. Mark West was our lunch bucket hustler. We needed him. He was a bruiser, freaking strong. You got to remember, Mark West came up playing against Moses Malone. He played against Moses Malone, arguably the strongest guy of all time. He played against Artis Gilmore. He played against Olajuwon. I've heard more than a few quotes about Moses and Artis Gilmore. Pound for pound, forget all that. Strongest player ever, Artis Gilmore. Guy you just couldn't move. Moses Malone, not only strong, just out-hustled you. So an impossible cover. Then he gets to the Suns. Then he's in the era of Ewing, Mutombo, and Duckworth, and David Robinson, and Kareem near the tail end of his career. Shaq in his prime. Alonzo in his prime. Every one of those guys was at minimum, a multiple all-star. Almost every one of those guys is in the Hall. Mark West held his own banging with the greatest generation of NBA centers ever. And the Suns were winning with Mark West. Yes, we had all these other guys. They got the box score. They got the glory. They got the stats. But the Suns were winning because we had an anchor. And that anchor was Mark West. Became an absolute beast for us. Total Iron Man 2, playing in every game from 88 to 94, 521 consecutive games, averaged close to a double-double from 88 to 90 at only 27 minutes a game. So not only an anchor and knocking the crap out of the strongest guys in the league, consistent in a very short amount of time because of his offensive liability. He was our glue guy in the 90s. When the Suns traded him in 94 in favor of the younger Oliver Miller, big mistake. Cotton Fitzsimmons, West's former coach and Suns VP at the time, said, quote, all we've done since Mark West came over is we've won. We're losing a winner. No doubt about that, end quote. How smart was Cotton Fitzsimmons? Quiet leader and a quiet winner. Mark West is your Suns legend of the day, hustler, gritty edition. That was really fun to talk about. You forget about really great players like Mark West. But he's done a lot for the Suns community, stuck around, worked in our office for the longest time. I'm not sure if he's still doing that. I think he's enjoying his retirement. All right, we got Utah tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Appreciate you watching. Thank you.